Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news. It's Monday morning. We're getting closer to football coming back and there is a lot of exciting stuff to talk about this morning. We'll be talking Werner, Garlo, Kai Havertz, Sancho and a couple of other things, all with big bits of news coming from different places to talk about. So excited about that. Let's start off with the lead story though that's circulating today that I've seen, which is that Manchester United are leading the race to sign Kai Havertz from Bayer Leverkusen this summer. Manchester United see him as, I'm quoting what the article said here, Manchester United see Havertz as the perfect all-rounder young player that can come to Manchester United and improve the squad. And at 20 years of age, Havertz is without doubt one of the best players, up-and-coming players in the world at the moment. I would put him in that sort of Jadon Sancho category. But for Manchester United to be leading this race, and I've got to be honest, I read this in The Sun. I think the Sun have got it from somewhere else. So, look, let's talk about it for a moment. But I don't see how Manchester United are leading this Havertz race. And I must admit, I always get a little bit suspicious when you've got a deal like a Garlo, which stops us signing a striker, and then the next day you get this big story where everyone's meant to go, oh, we're in the race for Havertz. We're not in the race for Havertz. We're not signing Havertz. I don't know whether United leak information to The Sun. I mean, what's his name? This new PR guy that we've got, Neil Ashton, I'm pretty sure he was wasn't he the chief sports editor at The Sun? And then the day after the Regalo news, you get story about Havertz, which is meant to make everyone feel really good. Look, at the end of the day, Manchester United fans are very mature, like most football fans, and we're capable of digesting news and moving on from it. Like the Regalo news isn't bad news. Igalo's staying at Manchester United. He's tweeted it out this morning that, another month and he's in a United top. We know he's going to have another 7 months now. They've just got to officially announce that. And funnily enough on Igalo, can I just say this, that we did expect a deal to be announced yesterday or maybe today. Let's not forget, the Chinese Super League hasn't started yet. So whilst he's out of contract with United, he can still train with United. He's not playing any games at the moment. So I think it will get either done today or the next few days. So Igalo will sign the new contract and he will stay at United till January, which means we're not signing a striker. I saw some stuff yesterday about people saying, oh, it means we're going to get Haaland in January. Haaland will have only been at Dortmund for a year in January. His contract release clause doesn't kick in until at least the following summer. And actually it's rumoured to be the summer after that. So Haaland's not. This is not. I love this. We always had this with Van Gaal. When Van Gaal didn't pick Herrera game after game, some fans would say, "Oh, he's keeping him back for the next game," and then the next game would come and he wouldn't pick him. He was keeping him back for the next. He's keeping him back for that game in a couple of months. Sometimes the truth is right in front of you. Manchester United are going to pay a lot of money to keep Igalo at the club until January. We paid a lot of money to get Igalo on the transfer deadline day. We paid a fee to Shanghai, and then we paid a lot of his wages as well. So we pay a lot of money for Igalo. We're not going to pay a lot of money for Igalo to go and buy Werner or Moussa Dembele in this transfer window when we've got the striker who's the backup. So we're not buying a striker, and Igalo will stay, and that's the situation that's going to happen. So that, to me, as I said last night, I'm not going to go over it. Check the show out last night with Ricky and Saeed and Adam. But that, to me, is confusing because I don't see what the future plan is. We're meant to have a future plan. We're meant to be building for the future. Don't worry that we're not very good at the moment and Liverpool and Man City are dominating because we've got a future plan. And when I see Wan-Bissaka and Bruno Fernandes and Jadon Sancho, I see that future plan. When I see us keeping a striker who's going to go halfway through a big season next season, I don't know what the future plan is there. And I think that confusion is probably about saving money, I don't know. So maybe what we're getting this morning from the PR spin, because we know that Neil Ashton used to work for The Sun, maybe what we're getting here is a little story going to The Sun about us leading the race for Kai Havertz, because they'll know that people won't really believe The Sun, but they'll be believed enough for people to get excited that we might be in the race for Havertz. And of course, in a week or two, we'll forget about that positive story and realise that we've got no chance of signing Kai Havertz. And I think that's what this story is all about. Whether it's been leaked or not, I don't know, but I certainly think it's a Monday morning positive spin story to take away from the fact that we're not going to buy a striker, because we're not going to sign Kai Havertz. And I would love to be wrong. I would love the club to be going, right, we're going to prove him wrong now. We're going to go and sign Kai Havertz, because that's a win. That's a win anyway. I'd love to sign Kai Havertz. He'd be a brilliant player for Manchester United. But where does he fit in? He would have to play first team football, and Bruno plays first team football. So how are you playing two attacking midfielders? We're going to put him on the right wing again? No, that's when we need Sancho. So we won't be signing Kai Havertz and we won't be leading the race. And I'm pretty confident about that. And I think most of you, when you think about it, are as well. Kai Havertz he's going to go to Bayern Munich or he's going to go to Real Madrid. If he goes any other of those two clubs, I'd be absolutely stunned. But there you go, that is the news. Kai Havertz apparently we're leading the race for him, which makes absolutely no sense to me as well. And also the price is quoted as £50 million, which straight away I went, this is a load of rubbish. We are not paying £50 million for Kai Havertz. He's worth as much as Sancho for a start, so you can add another 35 on straight away. But that's the news. I just give it and give my opinion. You digest it and give it yours. Timo Werner then. Now, this is interesting about Timo Werner. The race for Timo Werner for Manchester United is over before it started, I believe. Inter Milan, interesting news here. Obviously, we know that Fabrizio Romano and a lot of other people are saying that Liverpool would be the favourites, and we always knew Liverpool would be the favourites. There was a little bit of hope at the end of last week because there was talk that Liverpool don't want to pay any more than £30 million for him. I know that United expressed an interest in Timo Werner, and Werner has expressed an interest in United over the years, as recently as March. But Manchester United are not in the race for Timo Werner seriously because they're not going to spend £50 million on a striker. Now they've got Tagallo to stay. Inter Milan have publicly said that they really like Werner. It's a testament to their scouting system that they've been scouting him for a long time. But they know their plan. They know Werner's plans, and he's not going to them. So that's Inter Milan saying that they'd like to get him, but they know he's going somewhere else, or he's doing something else, and it's not them. It's going to be Liverpool. Let's be honest. He's going to go to Liverpool. Whether United had a chance of signing him or not, I don't know. And in fairness, maybe United wanted Werner. They couldn't get Werner, so they've done with Ighalo. Maybe that is the case. I doubt it, but that is really going to strengthen Liverpool. I mean, my hope is that Bayern Munich swoop in or are involved and they take him, because they used to do that with all the German talent. But I think Liverpool with Werner strengthens Liverpool as much as Sancho will strengthen us. Fantastic player, and I think he will suit the Premier League. He'll fit it like a glove. It'd be a fantastic signing for them. So fair play if they get it done. I wait to see if United seriously are going to take advantage of this transfer market. And when I say that, taking advantage of this transfer market is not signing Jadon Sancho. We were looking to sign Jadon Sancho before lockdown. Taking advantage of a market is whereby the market is crippled, people can't spend, people have to sell, and you spend a little bit more than you were going to because you've got the money to do it to take advantage of the market. Signing Sancho is not United taking advantage of the market, because Sancho's a player that we wanted to sign this summer anyway. What taking advantage of this market would be signing Sancho, Bellingham, Grealish, and another player. So you sign 4 players instead of signing 2 players because you're taking advantage of the market. And I'm telling you, there's plenty of opportunities to take advantage of this market, especially around the French league. But we'll see if we do that. Talking about Jadon Sancho, Raphael Honigstein, who was on BT Sports yesterday, very good journalist, especially around German football. He's saying that Manchester United, he believes, will still sign Jadon Sancho. That the money they have the money to do it. No matter what the fee is, as long as it's realistic, Manchester United have the money to do it. And also, yes, there is a financial crisis, but you're buying a player here of such talent that will be a talent for 5, 6, 10 years, that in this mini financial crisis now, yes, it's an outlay, but it's an outlay that if you wait a year, you might have competition and you might not get him. So if you get him now, you get a talent that you're going to have for 5, 6, 7, 10 years, like he says. So yeah, I still am very confident that we'll sign Jadon Sancho. That would be the biggest blow if we didn't do that deal. But you've got to get Champions League football to do that, and to get Champions League football, you've got to hit the ground running when we come back. And on that, Premier League is still looking back for a return 2 weeks on Wednesday, which is exciting. And United's first game should be 2 weeks on Friday against Spurs. That's what the rumour is. Now, interesting, and it's a shame we can't get any of this to watch, but there will be behind closed doors games that are not televised as warm-up games. Of course, United and Liverpool and Chelsea and Arsenal and all the Premier League clubs are going to play warm-up games. Who they're going to be against, I don't know, considering I don't think your typical Rochdales and everybody are actually training. So I wonder if these Premier League clubs are going to play each other in warm-up games, but they need warm-up games. And the problem that you've got is, in a pre-season, everybody's training. You can play in the local duck. You can play the local Dog and Duck 11. You can play Forest or Sheffield Wednesday from the Championship. Now maybe that's what we will look to do: play some Championship clubs because they are training. But United will be doing that, and hopefully we will get released of what those scores are, etc. But yeah, they'll definitely be playing warm-up games, and that's they need to start doing that in the next couple of weeks, really, because as I said, United's first game could be 2 weeks on Friday. Man City, Arsenal, Sheffield United will be 2 weeks on Wednesday. So it's coming thick and fast, which is exciting. There was also a bit of excitement around Alexis Sanchez yesterday and his loan deal being extended. And I think because Ighalo's loan deal will be extended till the end of January, people were thinking Sanchez the same. Sanchez's loan extension is what we thought Ighalo's would be. It's till the end of this season, so July. This is an old story, really. It goes back to Friday, I think, where Inter Milan have said that they want to extend his loan deal till the end of the season, and Sanchez will be given an opportunity to show what he's all about, and then they'll have a chat with Manchester United about a long term. I really do expect that Inter will not keep Sanchez at Inter Milan. I mean, Inter Milan have made a bit of money. They have sold Icardi, but is Icardi's sale really covering the fee that they paid for Lukaku last year? I don't know. They may look to keep Sanchez on loan for another year. And from United's point of view, I think that might be the second best option for United. I can't see anybody ever wanting to buy Alexis Sanchez when he's on such massive wages. And I think United might just have to keep him away from the club for the next few years until he leaves, and just pay half his wages like we have. But at least he's not at the club, disrupting the club with his wages, etc. So it's just a bad deal. It was a bad deal that we did, and we're going to have to live with it for a few years, aren't we, I think? What else did I want to talk about? Werner plans, Havertz leading the race, practice matches, Alexis Sanchez loan, Ighalo, wiggle room, and Sancho get the money. Okay, so we've covered all the main topics I wanted to discuss there. I think in essence, I'm more than ready to see Manchester United back playing football. I think we all are, and that's the show we did last night. I really enjoyed, because apart from talking about the Ighalo bit at the start, the last half of the show we're talking about Spurs, we're talking about the remaining Premier League games, and I think probably, look, the transfer stuff's always going to be floating around even when we've got football back, because we're in unprecedented times. It's the summer, we're used to transfer talk, but we're also going to have a lot of leagues coming back now, and hopefully the Premier League's going to come back, and the focus will be on football. But do not underestimate the power of the next 9 Premier League games for Manchester United and where we're going as a club. Because Ighalo's going to be the backup striker next season. But what if you don't get Champions League football, and therefore you don't get Sancho? And you don't actually, and maybe Pogba goes, or Pogba won't sign a long-term contract, so you're going to lose him. United, as much as we could go into next season looking a lot stronger than we are now, let's not forget, and more importantly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the players shouldn't forget, and I'm sure they won't, we could go into next season weaker than we are now. You look at United a year ago, I would say that we went into this season weaker on paper than we ended last season. We lost Herrera, Pogba was injured, and yes, we bought in Harry Maguire and we bought in Dan James and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but we also lost Lukaku. We lost Lukaku, Pogba, Herrera, and we brought in 3 defenders basically, and a young winger from the Championship. We're a better team for doing that, but on paper we were a little bit weaker. So I believe next season our plan is to get Sancho, and that makes us stronger. But we've got it. My point is, we've got to get Champions League football, and that's what the next 9 Premier League games is about. We got Champions League football. We're Manchester United. We're showing progress. We've definitely got the finances, and we've got Champions League football. Don't underestimate that. But also, don't underestimate that we might have 2 bites of the cherry here. And the unique brilliance of this unprecedented mini season that we're going to get is that there will be no Europa League football, as we understand it, between the start of the Premier League coming back and the end of it. So by the end of July, we'll know whether we're top 4, because the Premier League fixtures will have been completed. And then in August, we'll play Europa League. Well, if we do finish outside the top 6, which I think would be, if we finish 6th or below, we won't be in the Champions League. If we finish 5th, we might get it because of the Man City ban. Finish 4th, we're definitely in it. If we did miss out on that, which I think would be a joke, there would still be potentially a second chance of getting it through the Europa League. So there's 2 bites at the cherry for United, but they've got to go and get it in the Premier League, because ultimately that's where the eyes of the world are going to be on. I know people are watching Bundesliga, and I'm sure they'll watch the Liga, but let's be honest, when the Premier League comes back, the eyes of the world will switch on, and Manchester United will have a lot of eyes on them for a lot of different reasons. There'll be a lot of people with time to watch football, specifically players and agents and clubs. They'll be watching United and going, is that the right club for me? And as I said last night, when I look at Jadon Sancho and I look at Liverpool and Chelsea and any other club that's in for him, I think United fits in perfectly. That right spot is available, and I also think we've got the players in Martial and Bruno and Pogba and Rashford, who are clever little intricate players who are used to interchanging, that would work perfectly from what I've seen of Sancho over the last 18 months at Dortmund. So I hope we can get that deal done. I think that is the priority. And look, you know what? I really do wish we were buying a striker this summer, a proper striker that's going to be here long term. But I will say this. If we get Jadon Sancho this summer and we only get Jadon Sancho, that's still a very good transfer window. Of course you've got to be greedy and of course you've got to want more. And I don't apologise for that. We've had 7 years of Manchester United. Look, some people will say, oh, you're moaning, right? Okay, that's fine. That's your opinion. I get that. Take it on board. It's your opinion. But take this on board. At Manchester United, since Sir Alex Ferguson left, we've plummeted like a breeze block being thrown into a swimming pool. We have absolutely underachieved in relation to the status of this football club. So pardon me if I get moany and expressive about what I think is wrong at times, because we're not where we should be. Even now we're not where we should be, and we've not been there for the last 7 years. So I do get frustrated and I do get worried about my football club because I've seen failure over the last 7 years, and I don't at this moment in time trust the club to get it right. I think they are doing some things right in the short term, but I look at 7 years, that's a long-term plan that's failed. We've got a short-term plan here that we're being asked to trust in. And I'm willing to do that, but I'll do it with reservation. So I'm a little bit concerned as to when we keep players for half of next season, when we're not looking to take advantage of a market when we've got the money to do so. But the proof will be in the pudding when the transfer window opens. We've got to go out there and get Champions League football and show that we are taking the next breath, because otherwise we will stay being like Arsenal. We will stay being a club that hovers around fourth spot, and we're way better than that. We're a massive club and we should be doing better than that. And the bottom line is, even now we're underachieving. Where United are now is underachieving. 5th place is underachieving. That's not ollie out, that's not picking on the players. Every day they should know that when they go into training. Where you are is underachieving. This is not acceptable. We're doing something about it, but we are underachieving. We need to get much, much higher because we're Manchester United. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video and we'll be back later on at 8 o'clock with another live show. Have a good day. It's hot again today. It is hot.